All right, everyone. So, hello, good evening. Thank you so much for taking your time to join me tonight. My name is Savannah Rieger. I am a sports writer at the Richmond Times-Dispatch in Richmond, Virginia, and I have only been there a few, 7 months now. I just graduated college recently, and so I work on the high school beat. And so I went to get some gymnastics coverage out in the area, and I noticed that you seem to have such a cool story with, kind of taking Henrico gymnastics, on the back of your shoulders. And so I just wanted to talk to you guys today about a little bit about your career, what it's like kind of competing in training with Henrico and just the whole aspect of it. So I just have a few questions for you both today.
Okay.
Awesome. So I'll start with you. So why don't you tell me your name and your grade?
So my name is Ashley, but it's spelled with two E's, so Ashlee. I'm a senior at Henrico. Um, I forgot. Well, my last name is Mateo, Mateo.
Awesome. Perfect. And so, Ashley, if you could just start a little bit with why gymnastics? Why is that, a sport you've been called to, drawn to, and you seem to like?
Um, well, it was kind of like out of the box. So I used to cheer when I was like in middle school, but I stopped due to COVID. COVID hit when I was in eighth grade, and I don't know. And then I heard that there was a gymnastic team during my sophomore year, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to like get my physical in time. So
Hmm.
I decided to like give it a try. My junior year, I want to say it was a struggle because like obviously like my body wasn't used to it,
Hmm.
and I don't know, I just wanted to step out my box a little bit and try things new. And then I just once I found out we had a gymnastics team, then that's when I was like, okay, let's try it. So then I started trying it, and then I won one of my meets, and I was okay, I'm getting used to it, I'm getting whatever. And then Coach Madison, she started teaching me like new things, letting like you're capable of doing things like this. So then I just stuck with it, and I came my senior year and I did pretty good. There were some like bumps and bruises,
Hmm.
but overall it was good.
And so you kind of, just to clarify for me, so I get these correct, you kind of, gymnastics was kind of a sport you kind of started while you were in high school and you kind of heard of the team and you kind of wanted to step out of your comfort zone a little bit?
Yes.
Awesome. Love to hear it. Do you have a favorite event?
um if I would say, I love the beam. Like the beam, yeah, I love the beam. I also like the vault, but this year the vault wasn't my best friend. But I like the beam. The beam is my best.
And do you compete all four events or train on all four events?
Yeah, I used to do all four, but my senior year, I decided to take things on a chill level, so I did everything but floor.
Sick, sick. You
Oh,
talked about you talked about beam a little bit. Can you kind of expand on that a little bit? Why do you really like balance beam?
so like when I was younger, I always I could flip. I'm very flexible. Like my grandma told me all the time. She's like, "Oh yeah, you're double jointed. You need to like get into gymnastics and stuff like that." So I'm really good with my balance and stuff, but it's kind of weird because when I was younger, I kind of had an issue with my balance. I took a nap one day, and the switch that's controlling in the back of your head that controls your balance, it
Mm-hmm.
flipped off when I was sleeping. So I had to relearn how to walk, relearn how to like talk, sit up. So it was kind of like a shocker to me. But yeah, ever since then, I don't know, the beam is just easy. Like the height doesn't even really scare me. It's just the fact that I know that I can do beam. Like I have really good balance. I'm really good at keeping my body tight, do the cheer, learning things quickly. Yeah, that's I just always loved being.
You mentioned you kind of like you had like a flip switch. Sorry if I'm wording this weird. Flip switching your brain, and it's like you had to kind of relearn some mobility and some communication. Can you talk to me a little more about that?
Yeah, so I think I was like a month old. I was hospitalized for two weeks. I'm from Lawrenceville, Georgia, and
Mhm.
I can't remember what hospital it was, but I got really sick. I had like a fever. I was crying, and my
Mhm.
mom took me to like the hospital or whatever. and basically they spinal tapped me when I was little, and if I'm correct, you're not really supposed to have no more than at least like 74 like white cells. Well,
Hmm.
I'm not seven, I'm sorry, 10 white cells, but I had 94. So which caused it was, I guess, for me, like overheating and just doing a lot when I was younger. I guess it just switched off when I was taking a nap. So
Hmm.
when I was hospitalized for them 2 weeks, they had me like trying to do kind of like physical activities and stuff like that, just trying to get my balance straight. But ever since then, I my balance got like way better. But I always thought that was just like a little shocker to me.
Yeah, for sure. That makes balance beam probably a lot more fun to be able to kind of feel a little full circle with that.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And so correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm going to say that a lot, but just because I want to make sure I'm correct.
Uh-huh.
Are you the only gymnast on your high school team?
Yes, there were more, but she also had like a previous injury and stuff like that, so she wasn't able to perform. And then we had some others that like wanted to, but they just wasn't sure.
Mhm.
But throughout the season, yeah, I was the only one.
And so what's it kind of like to be the only member on your entire team? What's that kind of experience like?
I want to say so. I'm very shy. Like I'm very very shy. I'm not really outgoing. I like staying in the house. So it was nervous, but since me like previously being on the team, I met some like people that go to like I have a really good friend that goes to New Kent.
Mm-hmm.
Atlee, their gymnastics team is really nice. So they really like welcome me and stuff like that. So every time we had a meet, they'll say, "Hey, like still greet themselves. They'll bring me like snacks and stuff like that." So it really eased it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if I wasn't to know anybody, I would be very nervous. I was very nervous.
Right. I think that shows you the community of gymnastics around here is really nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
For sure. I love to hear that actually. So do you mostly just compete as an individualist then?
Yeah. Hmm.
Awesome. Awesome. And this season overall, how did that kind of go for you? What were some high moments? Maybe what were some moments where you were like, man, I got to work on this a little bit.
Yeah. I want to say if it was my high, I would say beam. I really came like far from like last year. Like I said, I wasn't the best, but
Hmm.
this year my body was into it more. My head was in the game. So beam, it was going up there. I was getting better scores.
Hmm.
I was basically I can't remember. I think it was like a whole bunch of girls. I think it was like 20 girls. I think I placed like 15th or something, which is or not. I can't really remember, but that just letting me know that I beat like all these other girls who's been in the game for like many many years
Hmm.
really showed me that like I am capable of doing things. My low, I would have to say it was at the Atleast meet. My body was just not doing good. I fell off the bars when I was practicing.
Hmm.
The vault, it was just not it. I couldn't get my legs up with me. I was mad at myself. So
Hmm.
I really didn't want to like, I was just too angry and my body wasn't just functioning with me.
Hmm.
So I think that was my low, but just me. I also try not to give up a lot
Yep.
because I don't want to be I never want to be called like quit or anything. So I always try to like attempt it. So I did. It wasn't my night, so I didn't perform on that like
Hmm.
type of thing. But I got to do beam and I did really good on beam. So it also like boosted up. But yeah, it was just like a lot during the times. I think it was since I was the only person. I always like I I think I was overthinking a lot, trying to make sure I get everything right, remembering like my routine, remember to always stay sharp, try to like tighten up my muscles, but that's about it.
Yeah. How supportive has Henrico kind of been to kind of help you through this process and kind of help you compete in every way, in the best way you can?
Really good. I want to say if I could say like one person from our school that like really like outdid themselves for me would be Miss Page. She's like our AD. She came from Verona. This is like her first year with us. She's really nice. She was always making sure that I was okay. She
Mhm.
was saying how, like, she's there for me and stuff like that. My counselor also, Miss Terry, she was really nice. Even though she really couldn't she wasn't there, she heard good things. She'll tell me like good job and stuff like that. But them two, they were really nice about it, and they always supported me and stuff like that. Also, my obviously my coach, but if it was anybody who worked in Henrico, it would be, yeah, Miss Page, most definitely.
And being the only gymnast on the team, just what's your connection like with coach? I feel like that bond has to be so close.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. Like, we just, I don't know, we just click, we feed off of each other. She
Hmm.
makes sure I don't die. That's the good part. When she was teaching me new tricks, she was always there to catch me. So that really like showed me that she's really like, you know, she always helps me like critique things. Since she was also a gymnast, she knows like my spot, and I really think that's a very, very important when it comes to a coach, is making sure that you have that connection with somebody. Like, if
Hmm.
you're a dancer, your coach has previous dancing, so that's also a good thing. With her being a gymnast, used to be a gymnast, she was always there to like, when I was in school, let me show you like how I did it. And she's just really easy on me. She makes sure that I'm okay, that if we did need to stop or we need to break, she's 100%. If I couldn't make a practice or something due to like my outside life and stuff like that, she was on it. She was making sure that she always had that one-on-one with me. So I really appreciate that.
What were maybe some of the biggest differences you had to learn between cheer and gymnastics when you first started?
Um, Cheer is more like, so I went to Wilder. So we're always stumping and we're shaking. So I feel like if there was one thing, is the difference is being trying to be more graceful. Um, with cheering, we're like, you're tight, you're stumping, you're using your diaphragm, and you're just using your voice and stuff like that. In gymnastics, yeah, you're also using your tight muscles and diaphragm, but you're also being more graceful, or more like intense a little bit, not really like using your voice or nothing. So you're real quiet. You don't have to really do a lot or anything like that. But that's the only thing different. I'm kind of like used to it a little bit because I've been dancing for like many, many years. I've been dancing since I was like 8. And that type of dance that I do is kind of graceful.
Mhm.
We also do a lot of like TikToking and stuff like that. So I'm kind of used to always being tight and learning things quickly. But overall, I think it's just making sure that you also have a good balance, because in cheer, yeah, you have balance, but you're always moving,
Mhm.
there's like sass in it and stuff like that. But a good bonus, since when I used to do floor, I used to like kill the floor with the sass and the walking. I'm really good at that.
That sounds so fun. And to just clarify for me a little bit here, were you on the gymnastics team your whole 4 years, 10th, 11th
um
grade? Just what were the years there?
my junior and my senior year.
Upperclassmen years. Got
Yep.
it. And so, like, kind of looking back on this now that you've kind of, had your Henrico gymnastics career kind of draw to a close a little bit here, how excited are you and how happy were you that you kind of took a chance and stepped out of your comfort zone and were on the team?
I'm really proud of myself. I'm thankful that I did take that, because like I said, I'm very I'm very shy, very quiet. I
Mhm.
don't really step out the box that much. So I'm actually really, really glad that I did, because I met new people. I took like that step, that faith to accomplish it. And
Mhm.
I know that I did it, so I can, that it also helps in the life and like in real life too. There's how did you really, what did you do to say that you really like did it in
Mhm.
life? And I say gymnastics. I never really did it.
Mhm.
But I took that chance and I still succeed.
Absolutely. And coach, let me flip to you for a few
Yeah.
questions here. How did you guys meet? How did you and Ashley kind of first start clicking and working together and kind of going towards that direction?
So, with gymnastics, particularly with Henrico,
Mhm,
it hadn't been around for a while. And so when it was brought back, small teams, usually like a two, three, it's always been small.
mhm.
Um, and I am always open to anybody who wants to try and learn. I have put out many things that it's like, you don't have to have any experience. Just have an open mind, be prepared to learn, and just come. I will teach you.
Yeah.
And so she did. She answered that call last year with her former senior teammate of that year. And it was just a matter of learning. And it was one day at a time. Let's figure it out. Let's see what you're good at, what you like, what we need to work on. And it kind of just grew from there. So I'm happy that she stuck around and like really committed to not only finishing that first season, but coming back and finishing off with her senior year with us. That was really exciting for me because I
Mhm.
didn't know exactly how many we'd have this year. And for her to be like, yes, I'm coming. Yes, let's do it. Let's go. And committing to the whole season was really awesome. Uh, so yeah.
That's great. That sounds great. And so for this year, did you have a couple injured and that's why it ended up just being her? Or was she mainly the one that kind of came out to try out and was on the team?
So we definitely had some interest. But
Mhm,
like Ashley was saying before, it was kind of they weren't sure kind of like how they'd feel about it. And a lot of times the kids who participate in other sports who might have an interest in like gymnastics don't realize they can do more than one sport in a season. So it's just a matter of kind of like getting it out there, being like, hey, it's okay. We can work together. Like all the coaches work together. It's
uh-huh,
fine. But I did have another senior, but yeah, like Ashley said, she was injured and was working through stuff and was like, I just don't think I can
right.
like put my best foot forward.
Mhm,
So I did end up with Ashley. And I even had my one of my other seniors who he is awesome. He did gymnastics all through middle school,
mhm,
and he was told he could do gymnastics in high school, but because of the regulations, he's not allowed to. But he's stuck around and he's been my manager for 3, 4 years, something like that. So
mhm.
like he was also an integral part of like just making practice fun. He is a personality amongst himself. So anytime we have practice together, it's always, we're having fun, but we're learning and we're working hard.
Absolutely. And what's Ashley's work ethic kind of like? What was it like kind of training her and showing her kind of how it's done?
Ashley is a perfectionist. She will work as hard as she can to get the skill, and if it's not working, she gets a little frustrated with herself. That and again, that she talked about her low being that one gymnastics beat at Atlee. It
Mhm,
definitely showed like her work ethic and like her standard for herself is so high that when
mhm,
she doesn't perform the way that she wanted to or the way that she expects herself to, she definitely gets a little frustrated with herself, but she never gives up.
mhm,
So that's awesome. Like having somebody who's like, I'm willing to work, I'm willing to put in the effort, and I'm willing to keep going until I get it right
mhm,
is just awesome to work with because that means that there are so many opportunities and the doors are always open for them. Like
mhm.
if the season kept going, she could have learned so many more things.
Right. Definitely. And just kind of looking past that, how do you think her season went and how many meets did you guys kind of end up doing?
I think her season went exceptionally well, especially considering she's a senior and she's got all the senior crazy things going on. Um, I think we ended up doing, I want to say, 4 meets, 3 or 4 meets, and each of those meets, like she got better and better. Like the first meet, we had our our usual like rough first time out
Yeah.
of the season, getting it going. But each time she got better and better, and there were things that she improved upon from the previous meets.
Mhm,
So even if she lagged in one area, she did make an improvement from somewhere else.
mhm.
So I mean, that was awesome to see as well.
And then, just like looking at what she was able to accomplish as someone who didn't really have any gymnastics experience, kind of what does that say about how people can kind of enjoy the sport and get into the sport even if they, weren't raised on it their whole lives.
It was a lot. And I always find that that is more awesome and more important than anything because, yeah, you could go out and do gymnastics, football, basket, any of these sports from the time that you could walk until the time that you are an adult. And somebody who comes in who's never had that type of training and just has a passion to learn and has the like strength and forefront of mind to be like, I am going to accomplish this. Like it just shows that no matter where you come from, what your background is, what you've done in your life, if you've been athletic, if you've not been athletic, if you put your mind to something, you can accomplish anything. It's just a matter of being consistent and being patient.
And then just a few other like kind of maybe like clarity questions. So you said Henrico had a program this year. Do you know how long it had been before like these last few years since it had a program by any chance?
I know I graduated high school in 2013. I know when I graduated, I think they were coming around that end of not having one for quite a while. Like they had it, but it kind of tapered off. So around 2013-ish to about 20, I think I started here 2018. So, about 5 or so years.
Okay.
And
then you've been like the head coach since 2018?
Yes. Yep. Since I've come in, I have been the head coach and I've worked to kind of build the program and get people interested and get it where it's at. And now that Ashlee has, been my graduating senior and I don't have any more gymnasts, it's trying to figure out how to build a program with new gymnasts.
Right.
Some hopefully freshmen that will stay around for a little bit longer.
Right. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for taking your time this evening to talk to me. This was such a great conversation. I enjoyed it a lot. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add, or do you have any questions for me at all?
I don't think so. I don't think I have anything that I have to ask or any questions I need to add. I did send you photos of Ashlee through the seasons. Some of them are screenshots of videos because it's mostly figuring out like what things look like. But those are just a couple of the things that I had that were the best.
Yeah.
So
awesome. I appreciate that. Seriously.
yes.
Well, that's it. Thank you so much. I'm planning to have the story run early next week. When it does, I will let you know I'll send you a link when it's online so you can pass that along. And I will also make sure to tell you what sometimes they move the story around depending what newspaper it's in. So I will make sure to tell you when it's in print as well, so you can be sure to see that if you need it. And if you guys need a copy of the paper, just let me know and I can make sure to get one of those for you, and I can always drop it off or mail it or anything. But again, thank you so much for chatting with me. I hope you have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you so much.
Yep. All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.